الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه أما بعد. We continue with the book of the morals and behavior by Ibn Hazm, and we continue in the gems that we have been sharing. Today's gem is the Darajatul Mahabbati Khamsun. Darajatul Mahabbati Khamsun. 5 stages in the growth of love. 5 stages in the growth of love. And the love, subhanallah, the bigger or the higher or the deeper the love is, the more the person becomes like attached. And when we say attached, it becomes like, subhanallah, slave to the love that he has toward that particular thing. Then the attachment and the following and to be led by that thing depends on the intensity of the love. Therefore, there's 5 stages of the love. The first love starts with the what they call al-istihsan. Al-istihsan. From istihsana is to be, to like something, to be, something pleasant. You find something pleasant. That's al-istihsan. قال وهو أن يتمثل الناظر صورة المنظور إليه حسنة. To put it in an abstract way, al-istihsan is to have, think someone pleasant, that is someone thinks of someone else as being nice or charmed. So someone you think like قال هنا يتمثل الناظر صورة المنظور إليه حسنة. To look at someone and you feel that, looking, or this person that you look into has a good image, a good, appearance and so on. So that's the istihsan. The istihsan is to, see someone look to you pleasant. You feel, as the Prophet ﷺ in hadith said about a person, that when a companion, Radwanullah Ta'ala alayhim, talking about looking for to be engaged, he said, the one that you see her, she make you feel cheerful inside. That part of the feeling pleasant, feel like, there's kind of here, liking the whole flow of the status of this person or the image of this person. So this is the pleasant. قال that is someone thinks of someone else as being nice or is charmed by their character. So it's either the image or mainly the character. The person says he's a good person. The first time you speak to a person, you said, mashallah, this person, he's good. That is istihsan. You're pleased with this person. You you accept this person. There's people when you see them, subhanallah, from the first word they uttered, you want to turn away. You want to stop them. You don't want to even continue to talk to them. Then it comes after قال وهذا الاستحسان يدخل في باب التصادق. It's like this is get into let's say باب التصادق, the starting of friendship. The starting of friendship. So such a people you don't mind being friend to, or you might even like to have a friend like that. Then comes the next level, which is al-i'jab. Al-i'jab is kind of admiration. وهو رغبة الناظر في المنظور إليه فهو في قربه. So the i'jab is the next step, which is the desire to be near the person that one admires. So it becomes like a person, you like the way they talk, you like their character. This is the part of friendship, starting of friendship. But the ijab is the next step. The next step, which will be, someone will be like admiring this person, want to be next to this person. They keep calling, for example, they start to call when we meet. So they use, for example, this person at the level of the istihsan. You see them once a week, and if it comes by coincidence, you like it, or what good coincidence. But when it becomes admiration, it becomes like you seeking to meet this person. You want to see this person. Why? Because this level of love is really defined by the desire to be near the person that the one is admiring. Then after that comes al-ulfa. Al-ulfatu. Al-ulfatu is like to feel, al-ulfatu is like to feel intimacy, cheerful joy when you are next to this person, which is like being absent from this person. Someone feels like, subhanallah, kind of loneliness, miss terribly this person. So this is the next one, is al-ulfa. Al-ulfa is all of them part of like or love. They call it al-ulfa the translation that they give it is close friendship. It's higher than close friendship. But close friendship, when it's mean like, people they cannot, wait to see each other and they cannot bear to be absent from each other. So that's the ulfa. And وَهِيَ الْوِحْشَةُ إِلَيْهِ مَتَى غَابَ. Al-wihshatu, someone missing and feel subhanallah, kind of lonely when this person is not around. Then we're talking now about levels that someone, he becomes to this level, he needs to be very careful. Why very careful? Because these levels from the admiration and above is subhanallah where the whims will be leading the person. When the love is going to define, every aspect of subhanallah that is related to the heart of the person. And this is where it comes, to secure the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the heart of the believer. If not, this is where they're going to, subhanallah, go astray and they're going to deviate. قال الكلف. الكلف is strong affection. But al-kalafu is, subhanallah, comes to a level that someone, as he's saying, قال غلبة شغل البال به. غلبة شغل البال به is, one's thinking is always consumed in thinking about this person. He's always thinking about this person. And this is, subhanallah, there's a lot of stories and things about that. Al-kalaf. قال وهو يسمى في باب الغزل. في باب الغزل, in the chapters where they talk about loves and things, they call it, subhanallah, they call it ishq. They call it ishq. Special vocabulary of love, this is called ishq. And the ishq, subhanallah, it has kind of, the closest translation has been put here is the slavery of love. Ashiq, subhanallah. Ashiq, his heart is already kind of belong to the other person. That's it. All of his mind in that person. All the mind of this person, al-ishq. So the ashq, it becomes a drive that a person wants to always be next to this one, this person that they love. However, the best of ishq, when you come to this level, the ishq need to be for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the ishq is not like loving Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in a way of passion and affection, but the ishq of aspect that get you close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, in the beautiful hadith, what he said, قال اللهم إني أسألك لذة النظر إلى وجهك الكريم. Oh Allah, I beseech you and supplicate you and ask you the ladda, the sweetness or the bliss of looking at your holy face, Ya Allah. لذة النظر إلى وجهك الكريم. So this is the utmost and the ultimate bliss ever that a believer can be, subhanAllah, gifted with in his and her journey of existence. Because if you will be able to see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then you are in the eternity. Yeah? There is no death, there is no, nothing that subhanAllah spoil your life in this dunya can exist in that blissful life. However, the Prophet ﷺ, he continued this hadith, what he said. قال اللهم وإني أسألك الشوق إلى لقائك. The special love, the special drive that keep driving me, Ya Allah, to love to meet you. Because if someone asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to see him, to see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, how can you see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala if you do not have the love to meet him? قال وأسألك. So in this hadith, the Prophet ﷺ teaching us, yes, ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to see him. And you know, this is the greatest of the bliss, as we have said. But ask the path that it will lead you to see him, which is with the way of the ishq. So if you read definition of the ishq, قال غلبة شغل البال به, the ishq, then قال there is what he said, completely yeah, he put it here, قال affection, ولا غلبة شغل البال. So it's like the most of the time of this person is just thinking about it. Apply this ishq to meeting Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then the true ishq is like you're always longing to meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So if you're longing to meet Allah, meet Allah, and He will be pleased with you subhanahu wa ta'ala. What will be then the best thing in your daily life? If you have this true, sincere shawq لِلِقَاءِ اللَّهِ subhanahu wa ta'ala, what will be the best thing in your daily life? Is salah. That's why the Prophet ﷺ قال وَجُعِلَتْ قُرَّةُ عَيْنِ فِي الصَّلَاةِ, the delight of my eye was made for me to be in my prayer. So if the ultimate goal is to see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this ultimate bliss, the path to it is to have the shawq that drive you. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the most merciful, He gave you the gift to meet Him 5 times a day. To meet Him 5 times a day. And that's when you pour, subhanAllah, that love you have, the shawq in your prayer, which the prayer becomes the most precious time of the day. When you come out of your prayer, you feel like, subhanAllah, you were in the highest of the garden, in the most of the bliss, in the greatest of the peace, and it is the most joyful moment that you have. When you come out of your prayer, your heart will be, subhanAllah, chest expanded, heart filled with light, and all your soul is cheerful. If you were angry at the time of salam, you feel like you are so peaceful. If you were, subhanAllah, mad at the person, after the time, after the salah, you want to hug this person. If before the salah, you were like going to make a big dispute with your family, and you know, having the stick to correct all the kids, after the salat, you turn them, kiss them one by one. This is, subhanAllah, the shawq. However, when you put the shawq you put it in your heart, but subhanAllah, for another person, as a servant like you, a creature like you, then, subhanAllah, you ruined yourself. Why? Because it becomes a slave to the things that you are in ishq. قال الكلف وهو غلبة شغل البال وهذا النوع يسمى في باب الغزل بالعشق. ثم الشغف. الشغف is true passion that will prevent the person in love to even sleep. Cannot sleep. Shaghaf. And it called it shaghaf because, you know, the thin membrane inside the heart, in Arabic called shaghaf, which is the love went down deep to that part. And it's the highest level of the love. When the ladies of the high society in time of Al-Aziz, they were, you know, backbiting the wife of Al-Aziz when she tried to seduce Yusuf alayhi salam. What they said? قال امرأة العزيز تراود فتاها عن نفسه قد شغفها حب. شغفها حب. He is like he killed her with with the love she had. She became like, insane. That's what they're saying, backbiting. And it's like they are the good ones and things, and they will not lower themselves as the Imra'at al-Aziz, what she did with Yusuf. So what they use in the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, قَالَ لَقَدْ شَغَفَهَا حُبًّا, is the highest level of the hub. When it gets there, no sleep, no eating, no drinking. It's really, subhanallah, that level that someone is ruining himself or herself. وَرُبَّمَا أَدَّى ذَلِكَ إِلَى الْمَرَضِ, and it leads to disease and sickness, أو إلى التوسوس, hallucination, or to death. وليس وراء ذلك منزلة في تناهي المحبة أصلا. After this there is no another level. For the believer really has to control this aspect, this ability, which is your gift that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave you. The ability to love is, subhanAllah, what define your identity, what define who you are, what define your direction in life. Because as we have said, it is a saying, a person is a slave to whatever he or she loves. And it depends on the levels. It comes to this level, subhanAllah. All the scholars, mashallah, they give the example of Qais wa Layla. Qais is like he was shaghaf. He has the shaghaf of the hub of Layla. And because he's from different tribe, they are like, what they call Ahya al-Arab, tribes of Arabs. Because he is from different tribe, so her father refused to marry her to Qais. The person, he became like insane. So when they talk about to know how much a person should love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they give example of Qais in how he became insane in his love to Layla. When he went to, his father took him to Mecca, traveling just to be away from their surrounding. So they came late and he started to pray Asr. And his father, he see him praying. He started the first rak'ah, 4 rak'ah, 6 rak'ah, 7 rak'ah. So his father stopped him to sit down. He told him, you made more than, he told him, you prayed 8 rak'ah for Asr. He told him, when I start to pray, and I remember Layla, I don't know if I'm praying Asr 4 or 8. It's for him, it's like, so this is the biggest problem of someone, subhanAllah, has his or her heart in the hand of something else, or enslaved or enchained in subhanAllah, in other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that's why the believer, they have always to recalibrate their love that they have based on the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What it means based of love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Means that the highest love that the believer must have is the love of Allah. Then the love of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. These two loves govern all the other loves. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran, قُلْ إِن كَانَ آبَاؤُكُمْ وَأَبْنَاؤُكُمْ وَإِخْوَانُكُمْ وَأَزْوَاجُكُمْ وَعَشِيرَتُكُمْ. Start one by one. Say, if the love of your parents, the love of your children, of your spouses, the love of your family, of your brothers, of your sisters, of your close family, extended family, of the money that you have, of the wealth, of the thing that you possess, of the business that you have, of the home that you have, dearer to you than Allah and His Messenger, and striving in His sake, then wait for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bring His matter against you, and Allah does not guide those wicked ones. Meaning, subhanallah, that the love of your parents need to be regulated, managed based on the love of Allah. Because, take the example of someone loves a person. The more this person loves this person, A, the more, subhanAllah, they want to serve them. That's why love comes with serving. And serving, it becomes fair seeming to them, their ill deeds, because the one that they love is what they see it as good. Give you an example. Someone, subhanAllah, loves a person, a man who loves a woman. This woman, she's not a Muslim. And by starting that, you think you know that I'm telling you a true story. She's not a Muslim. She drinks alcohol. And the person is Muslim. She's trying to justify that alcohol is okay. Yeah, his alcohol is haram. But she's not Muslim. Okay, tayyib. Then subhanAllah, this person, it's not only drinking alcohol, but she's not good at all. So he's been witnessing that she's doing the fahisha with other people. And he's pleased with that. So he's been told, you lost your own deen. You lost your own deen. Because the love make him to be blind, even erased from his being something called noble virtue called jealousy. To be jealous is being erased from this person. The love, subhanAllah, make a person serving what they love to change them fully and completely. They start to accept anything, subhanAllah. They erase their principle. Why? Because the person that they love, they don't regard those principles with high esteem, or they do not even believe in them, so that the person, he will not, for himself maybe he's believed, but he accepts it. Why? Because his heart is filled with the love of that person. Then what he's serving is not Allah. What he's serving is this person. For the believer to honor ourselves, even with your own family, you have always to check that the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His Messenger bigger in your heart than any other love. And this is how for your honoring of the self. Because when you keep the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala the highest in your heart, and even if it's not emotionally the highest, it needs to be in common sense the highest. Why? This is how you keep that, subhanAllah, that sensitivity in seeing the making the difference between the good and the evil. Because when it has an invitation from you, from the closest people to you, you know that this is not good for you. يا أيها الذين آمنوا إن من أزواجكم وأولادكم عدوا لكم فاحذروا. O you believer, it's indeed from among your spouses and your children are enemy to you. Then be careful, and subhanAllah, فاحذروهم, you have to be protecting yourself from them. How this ayah was revealed? When it came in a time where the believers were obligated to go to a battle to defend their home. Some of the spouses and the children, they were holding the father, say, do not go. Do not let us alone. Do not this, do not this. So this is like so sweet, very emotional. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He revealed in the Quran, He said, these are enemy to you. Because all what you're doing is going to go in the cause of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, indeed to protect them, to protect the deen, to protect the faith. So they become, subhanAllah, enemy. This is very important for us, and that's why the Prophet ﷺ, one of his major dua was to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to instill the love of Allah in his heart. Allahumma inni as'aluka hubbak wa hubba man yuhibbuk وحب كل عمل صالح يقربنا إلى حب. So look, the love that the Prophet ﷺ, he summarized in this. Allahumma I ask you, Ya Allah, your love. And the love of everything, Ya Allah, you love. And the love of those who love you, Ya Allah. And the love of every action that will be drawing me near to you, Ya Allah. And then he continued the beautiful hadith. اللهم وما أعطيتني مما أحب فاجعله لي قوة فيما تحب. Ya Allah, whatever you give me from blessing and gift of things that I love. You give me health, I love the healthy, to be healthy, Ya Allah. You give me wealth, I like wealth, Ya Allah. So make what you have gave me from the thing I love to make them, Ya Allah, to be a strength in what you love. To use them in what you love, Ya Allah. Healthy, I want to use it in the prayer. I want to use it in sharing. I want to use it in the way that please you, Allah. Wealth, the same thing. Time, the same thing. And so on. Allahumma wa ma a'taytani mimma uhib faj'alhu quwwatan li fima tuhib. Allahumma wa ma zawayta anni mimma uhib. Allah, what you have taken away, or you didn't give me things, many things I love, but you didn't give it to me. There's people, they ask dua, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala didn't give it to them because of his, absolute wisdom. Look, the Prophet ﷺ said, وَمَا زَوَيْتَ عَنِّي مِمَّا أُحِبْ فَاجْعَلْهُ فَرَاغًا لِي فِي مَا تُحِبْ. Look, subhanAllah, the wisdom is a wisdom, a prophetic wisdom. And Ya Allah, whatever you took away from me, from the thing I love, or you didn't give it to me, Allah then make the time that I was going to devote for that thing, make it, Ya Allah, time to be devoted in your obedience. You see how comprehensive and exhaustive this, and all, subhanAllah, pivoting around the love. Therefore you find the believer, he loves so much his family, much, subhanAllah, his spouse or her spouse, their children, their brother, with full great respect, but also honoring himself and honoring all his surrounding. Why? Because this honoring can only be completed by the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You honor your family by the love of Allah. You honor your children by the love of Allah. Because if your child asks you something and you say no, because it's conflict the way of Allah, and you love Allah more than your child, and your child will be making dua after you go along after. Why? Because you did it for the sake of Allah. And I finish with this story. We have a brother, he's not, a student of knowledge or things, but subhanAllah, we were in a masjid. He used always, subhanAllah, to come like, he opened before even the muaddin to open the masjid. So he said, one time we talked, said, subhanAllah, you are from those who come to the Fajr like, a regular Fajr person. He said, I remember when we were young, our father, he didn't let anyone, sleep, and the sun rises and the people are sleeping. Everyone wake up for Fajr. Said, when I was young, I used to make dua against my father because he did not let us sleep. Always Fajr. And he said, now at this age, I know how great was his action. I know. I said, every time I wake up for Fajr, the first thing I make dua to my father. So their father was acting in the path of the love of Allah. The kids, they don't like it. But now, for example, if you love your kid, they said, oh, go sleep, don't worry, Why? Because we love our children. But when you do that extra action, and this is this is an example, does not mean you're going to implement it, okay? They got to call you 911. So, but sometimes you do things in the way of the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which might conflict with the interests of your own close people, but later they will really respect you. They will, make dua for you because you did it on the path of the truth. And if Allah will guide them to be on the path of the truth, they will be thankful to you, and there will be people grateful to you for what you have done. It's either from your family or friends or anyone that around you. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bestow upon us His love and the love of what He loves and the love of the righteous action that take us closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Jazakumullahu khairan wa barakallahu.